Hey y'all, I'm sitting down again because this is going to be another long format video. I just wanted to hop on here really quickly and do a review for a ritual that one of my mutuals and close friends on this app gave me. If you are a member of the Left Hand Path community, you've probably heard of the name VK Johanna before. If you haven't, he is a content creator, and he also has a Patreon where he posts all kinds of rituals and spells for people to do for an affordable monthly subscription. He is also a practitioner for hire, so he can do all kinds of spell work as well as some readings. If you are in need of any of those services, feel free to go check him out. I'm going to tag his account down below in the caption of this video. I was privileged enough to be a beta tester for the soul retrieval ritual with Valak that is currently on his Patreon for the month of December. VK and I talk somewhat regularly, and one day he reached out to me and was like, hey, I've created this ritual that I'm going to post on my December Patreon, and I was wondering if you'd like to try it because I think that it would benefit you. Some practitioners believe that when you're traumatized, your soul will fragment into different parts. And as you do shadow work and as you heal from your trauma, those parts slowly fuse back together. And sometimes those parts end up God knows where. So the purpose of a soul retrieval is to quite literally retrieve the missing fragments of your soul that broke off due to trauma and piece them back together. I have actually never tried one of VK's rituals up until this past year, so I was like, you know what, why not just give it a go? On his Patreon, it says that the ritual can be customized and tweaked, whatever tickles your fancy, so I'm going to explain how I set up mine as well as the results. So this picture is from the setup phase of my ritual. I hadn't started anything, I hadn't done any of the chants. This is just like the basic structure of what I did. In the middle, I have a white candle with Valak's channeled sigil on it. You can also use his sigil from the actual Lesser Key of Solomon, but since it was a VK ritual, I was like, you know what, why not do the VK channeled sigil? I put it on a glass plate, and I used salt to cast a circle around the candle specifically. I also sprinkled sesame around it because Valak is associated with sesame, as well as poppy seed and valerian. Then I put some seashells in front of the candle as an offering to Valak since he is associated with the element of water. Around that, I placed rose quartz, clear quartz, labradorite, amethyst, sodalite, as well as a sand dollar at the top, and right behind the sand dollar is Valak's card from my Goetia-themed tarot deck. I also placed a fully intact snake shed around all of the crystals to symbolize the Ouroboros, as well as an offering to Valak and his connection with snakes. I have a very unorthodox way of casting circles around my rituals, and I work really well with the Wild Unknown Oracle decks. So as you can see, I've placed them in sort of a grid around the rest of my ritual. All of the cards that I use are symbolic of something. So for example, the horse card represents me, and the snake card represents Valak. And you can see in the top left and right hand corner, I have the Saturn card and the lead card, since lead is attributed to Saturn, and Valak is traditionally associated with the planet Saturn. And on the bottom, you can see that I have the Thanatos card, the Underworld card, and the Gnosis card, because I felt like these archetypes and these processes resonated with the intent of this ritual. I took this picture after I did all of the necessary chants and brought Valak into my space. Honestly, this is one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken of a ritual. And if you can see at the bottom where my incense holder is, you can sort of see the outline of a snake head. This is a really crude drawing of it, and I just found that super fascinating because I intentionally put the snake shed there to represent the Ouroboros. I'm not going to go too in-depth as to what Valak said to me personally. However, I'm just going to say that I am not a crier, and I was literally laying on the ground crying like a little baby for like an hour after I did this ritual. The ritual was very successful. I got all of the fragments back that I lost due to the trauma I experienced when I was a child and a teenager. I have like 5 different inner monologues going. I always have. I've always lived in my head ever since I was a little kid. And when I finished the ritual, my brain was like completely quiet. Like dead silence. Like I could hear a pin drop. And that never happens to me. I performed this ritual on November 25th, 2024. And I like to take a month or two to sit back and really reflect on what I've learned in the ritual. And I still am experiencing the results of the ritual now that it's been a couple months since I've done it. Ever since this ritual, my psychologist has said that I have been making tremendous progress in therapy and has officially given me her seal of approval that I am a healthy person. So go me. I coped with my trauma by compartmentalizing it and putting up a shit ton of amnesia barriers to the point where I basically forgot about it for a while. It takes a really long time for me to fully process traumatic events and things that have hurt me in the past, and this ritual has seriously expedited my emotional processing speed. Because of the impact that this ritual has on a soul level, working with my shadow self has gotten a lot easier. 2024 was not my year, to say the least, so I have been doing a lot of shadow work recently, and it's kind of gotten to the point where I wasn't really able to see the effects that it had on me, and this ritual kind of like zoomed me out, so to speak. I'm able to see the benefits that my shadow work has had on me, and I'm able to actually take those benefits that I see and harness them and cultivate them and use them to my advantage a lot easier than before. My favorite thing about this ritual is that you keep benefiting from it over time. Like, as I'm continuing my shadow work and my healing and my therapy, I am noticing the results more and more and more as I'm healing. So it not only benefits you as just like a one-time thing, but you keep benefiting from it long after you've completed the ritual. My one piece of cautionary advice for anyone who is attempting to do this ritual is that you will experience big emotions when you're doing it. It dredges up all of the emotions in your subconscious that you have been repressing for however long. So my advice to you would be to make sure that before you attempt this ritual that you are in a safe enough mental space to do so. I recommend this ritual to anyone who is experiencing a stalemate in their shadow work. Like, you keep working on the same issue, you know, you don't really feel like you're seeing the results, and you just want an extra push in the right direction. VK is an extremely talented practitioner, and I am so grateful that he gave me this opportunity to test one of his rituals, because needless to say, I will be doing a lot more in the future.